All right, everyone, welcome back. We are in town today, literally right in the city. And we're gonna go ahead and just go through the lawn. I'm gonna show you what kind of stuff's available right here, right under our feet. So you can see that foraging isn't something that you have to go out into the woods to do. Honestly, they're spraying things. Obviously, they haven't sprayed anything yet, but they do spray things on these lawns, so you have to pay attention because you don't know what's out here. You don't know whose animals are out here using it, so it is questionable. But the point isn't for you to come out and use it. It's the point to be able to come out and study it, to be able to come out and see it, be able to know where it is, to know that you're not separated that far from it. The first one I'll show you is literally right next to the concrete, and this is called Creeping Charlie, and it is part of the mint family. It is one of the three that looks like. So we have Creeping Charlie, we have Henbit, and we have Purple Dead Nettle. And those are the three lookalikes. They're all part of the mint family. They're all pretty much used almost interchangeably. This one here is Creeping Charlie. It's used like you would with other mints for colds, flus, congestions, things like that. You can see it has a traditional mint flower. So you familiarize with mint flowers. They all look the same way that all pea flowers look the same. And it has these half little clubs coming around it for leaves, and they're opposing each other and opposite sides of the square stem, because all mints have square stems. So it's opposite sides of the square stem as each other going up, and the flowers are always 3/4 of the way up or higher. You can see how tall this is getting. It's very tall, and there's no purple at all on it besides the flower, none on the leaves. And that's how we know that for sure. And there's just a little tinge under the bottom of the top flowers. So yes, fairly certain this one's Creeping Charlie. If it had purple on the top, it'd be Henbit. And I use them almost interchangeably with my, I try to use all three together, but they're such a beautiful herb. But yes, here's this. I'll take some with us. When we find Henbit, we can compare the two and see the minor differences. So yeah, that's our first plant right there. All right, guys, so we're just walking along looking for our next plant. This is literally our apartment, so we're right outside our apartment. And that is all Creeping Charlie. You see all that? And we have all this beautiful dandelions. Those are edible from the root to the flower, right? We fry those flowers up. They're delicious. They're great for jellies and jams and wines and all sorts of things. The roots are amazing when you boil them and then do like a pan fry. Yeah, just absolutely amazing stuff. Okay, so heads up, the wind is a little bad today, so we're gonna deal with what we gotta deal with, but we'll do our best. Check these out. These are forget-me-nots. They're white. They're pretty. I'm not really sure if they have a use or not, but I just love them. I like to identify my wildflowers because, certain things help the pollinators, certain things do not. This is one of the things that is technically very helpful, especially here in town. So beautiful, believe it. Okay, guys, I'll keep looking. When I find something else, I'll pop back on the camera. So we made it halfway across the lawn. We were over there, now we're over here. So here is some of our wintercrest plants that have been popping up. So we have those opposing leaves, sometimes across from each other, other times staggered. And they have these really gentle leaves. There's no hairs. The thing's like slightly waxy almost. And they're very soft, like a succulent. And they have these budding flowers that come up like this. And they produce this broccoli-looking flower bud. And as that flower bud ripens, it turns yellow. And then as it blooms, it pops out these 4 little yellow petaled flowers that, as you see, are very vivid. It stands very tall up. It's part of the mint family. Oh, sorry, it's not the mint family. Part of the mustard family. And it's related to like broccoli, right? You can see the resemblance. And it's edible. It is called bittercrest too, and literally because it is a very bitter plant. It's not something you would necessarily be plucking up and eating as you went, but it does cook down very nice. It's a very good pot herb. It's something well worth study, well worth knowing. We have all these beautiful stages of it right here. We want to get it early like that because you can see what the leaves do. The leaves they don't really shrink down, but they stop growing. and they focus on the flowers. So we really want to get it early like that. But yes, that's wintercress. It's high in vitamin A and vitamin C. It's in that mustard family, like I said. It's great for cooked greens. People use it kimchi. Sauerkraut is a great way to use it. Absolutely fantastic stuff. We're gonna clean up what trash we find here in the lawn too. But yeah, all right, I'll keep on. See what else we can see. Okay, so we got lucky and found a good patch of henbit here. And do you see those purple flowers? So it looks like Creeping Charlie, right? So we go ahead and get down here, get looking at them. But you see how the tops are turning purple? Where our Creeping Charlie was green all the way up. So we'll go ahead and dig out, there we go, a piece, and we'll get a piece for comparison. All right. So, as you see, the henbit turns purple really far down compared to how Creeping Charlie gets much taller and hasn't gained any of that purple. The leaves look almost identical. The flowers are identical. We don't have flowers on this Creeping Charlie here, but they're both the mint. Again, we have a square stem on it, and that's one of those magic three. There's not much else that looks like these three. We don't have purple dead nettle right here on hand to show you, but there are videos of that on my channel, so feel free to go dig up on that one, and there'll be more coming. But these are these two, and yeah, they're just right here in our lawn waiting for us. We're gonna go along right over here, and there's a couple things more to show you, so we'll continue on our way. All right, so literally on the edge of the parking lot here, we have this tree. It's been trimmed back a lot. And if we look at it, we have this bark. This is almost always fruit bark. So if you see that, you're standing next to a fruit tree. And then we see we have these white and pink flowers. This is some sort of an apple tree. Whether it's crab apples or some sort of sweet apple, we won't know yet. But yeah, it's right there on the edge of the parking lot. There's an apple tree. I'm sure there's more to become if there's that one there. Food's literally everywhere. We don't have very far to go to look for it. We just have to look. Those are all apple trees sprouting up. Maybe we'll try to pull up one of those and root it. Maybe we'll get lucky. Apple trees are very hard to transplant like that. But those ones aren't going to survive where they are anyway, so we're going to go ahead and use them. Oh, here we go. Literally growing out of the concrete, we have this, which has that red stem that comes up from the ground, almost the whole height. It has these opposing lance spear-shaped leaves that are other sides of the round stem, right? And then when it does branch out, it branches out from the base of the leaf where it meets the stem. And this will produce a 5 yellow petaled flower. And this is St. John's wort, or what I call it is amber flower. But yes, so we'll see that later in June here, halfway through June, that should be blooming. So that's St. John's wort. This plant up here is actually called Creeping Virginia, and it's one of the grape lookalikes. We'll study that as the leaves develop. As you can see, the leaves are not grape leaves, and that's the best way to tell, because the berries look just like grapes. And this is great for certain parts of our environment, but obviously they're not for us. They are toxic, but the birds love them. So it's something to pay attention to, because even though it looks like it's grapes and it vines like it's grapes, it is not grapes. That is toxic. All right. So again here, we've got that red stem from the ground up, and we have those lance-shaped leaves, almost a spear tip shaped, right? The oval. Nice and supple. It's branching from where the leaves meet the stem on opposite sides. Leaves are opposing each other. This will have, again, this will have those yellow flowers. They'll have white or 5 petals. Everything's going to be yellow on it. This is St. John's wort. And St. John's wort is excellent for a lot of things. It's most commonly today, it is used for mood stabilization. It is edible. I've seen people use like the flowers for like garnishes and things like that. But yes, it's a mood stabilization. It does fight like depression, anxiety, things like that. The issue is that it also fights a lot of other medications in very serious ways. This is one of those things that you need to consult your doctor and do your research before you ever use. Because like for me, with all my meds that I take, it fights all of them. It'll have an interaction with any of them. But traditionally it's been used, you know, for flus, ulcers, colds, that sort of thing. Today it is used a lot in skincare, but it has traditionally been used in wound care also. I personally just don't use it in any way for myself. I make medicine for others with it, but I don't use it for myself because, like I said, everything reacts, so I just don't play with it. So yeah, we'll pay attention to that as it grows this year, and we'll go from there. Oh, look at that. So here we have our winter crest. It's flowering out. Absolutely beautiful. I'll keep looking. Alright guys, we actually haven't really gone anywhere yet. I've been just picking up trash right here. That's our last winter crest that I just showed you guys. And I just turned around and realized that here's a blue variant of the forget-me-not, right? So we had the white ones earlier. Here's a blue one. We have thyme leaf speedwell. It's too small to really show you much of what's going on. But I guess we can try. Yeah, so the thyme, whatever you want to pronounce it, those are the shape of the leaves. It's really small, right? Normal speedwell is very big leaves. So this is very small. It grows like, just like the same bush. But yeah, those flowers are indicative. With the opposing leaves like that are round, small, oval. The white flower that is up in the bunching comb like this. This is absolutely speedwell. And it's used for wound care. It is edible in a few things. This variant I don't use just because there's common speedwell around here and it's much more medicinal and it's just easier to collect and use. But what I noticed was here, just across the fence, is another apple tree. So we have these 5-petaled flowers, right? So earlier we were looking at the buds, slightly pink, lots of white. These are going to be normal apples, like sweet apples. Yeah, so there's that fruit bark. Yeah. And speaking of fruit trees, right over here, well, here's something first. We have a group of raspberry bushes. We have these leaves that are growing out in the first are 3s, and then this will stretch out and it'll be groups of 2 along like that, right? It'll do another group of 3, and then that leaf will keep going. It'll be another group of 3, and it'll keep stretching. And it's got these what look like they should be spikes, but they're soft like hairs. Those are raspberry plants. They're really short because they trim the lawns here, but it is what it is. This tree I wanted to show you guys. This is one that we've already covered on the video, or I mean on the channel here on videos. But this is rowan berries. These are the mountain ash trees, and we saw them when they were just, there was no leaves on them. They were just the leftover berries from the last grow season. Well, this is that tree with leaves on it. Remember me telling you that they look just like rose leaves? This is why. They're straight across. Same exact leaves that you find on a rose bush. And that's because this is part of the rose family. It's the biggest rose shrub or bush or tree in the family. And these will produce those red berries. You can see that they're starting to form, right? So these are going to grow that bright plump red, and we usually don't use them until they've at least frozen a few times and they sweeten up a little bit. But they're very dry, they're very bitter. This is something you'd use for like you were a cranberry. You would stew it, you would sweeten it. You wouldn't just be walking around plopping a ton of these. They will dry out your mouth. They're like a wine berry. But yes, these are edible and they're literally everywhere. And again, we've got that fruit wood, right? See the bark? There's a little different hue, different shades, but same bark. So that's something to keep an eye out for. There's literally everywhere, all over the place. All this medicine, all this food is right here under your feet. You just gotta look down. We'll keep doing this throughout the year. We'll do some walks through the city, and as we do that, we'll see what we can discover. And so you guys can see that it's literally just everywhere. You just have to go out and look down, you know? And honestly, the more time you spend doing that, the better you're gonna feel anyway. You spend too much time closed up inside. So get outside, enjoy yourself, touch some grass, breathe some fresh air. Please be kind to yourself. You deserve it. I appreciate you all watching, and hang around. We'll come back and we'll cover all these as they develop in the year. Appreciate you. Hang around for more.